Hello, welcome to She Became Visible. This is a visibly unseen segment, a short little brief segment that I use out of my She Became Visible episodes. And I wanted to share with you something that has just come to my attention. I don't know why I'm so late on this party, but let me tell you what kind of sparked my interest in it. Right now, there are primaries going on all over the nation, and that includes here in Arizona. And it kind of took me back a little bit when I saw these two signs on the roads in Arizona. I thought, ooh, that's not the little township that I live in doesn't seem to be, I didn't think we were that divided. You know, re-elect Friedel, no need to transition to a new mayor, residents first, transparent, pro-businessman, best man for the job. And then he has the big, cross out of the other person that's running against him. Lies, deceit. And here's another one. Endorsed by leftists, but hide behind nonpartisanship and civility. Vote to stop Fountain Hills from turning blue. Well, good luck with that. But that's it took me back when I saw this. And my husband said that actually there was something on the Fountain Hills community board that said, that's not who we are here in Fountain Hills. We don't need this kind of divisive advertisement for our political primary that's coming up. So it made me kind of like, what is going on here in Fountain Hills? Well, then this was brought to my attention.
Pinal County Sheriff, this guy's central casting, I gotta tell you. I met him, I said, if we're doing a movie on sheriffs, I'm picking you to the lead. Sheriff Mark Lamb. Thank you. Hey. He's popular. Sheriff, would you like to run for another office? I think that's a big hand you got, Sheriff. Thank you for everything.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So then I was like, all right, who is this Mark Lamb guy? Now, I don't live in the county that he's running in. But what I am amazed at is I did not know when we moved to Arizona that Arizona was a little, they call it, what do they call it? Something Provo. It's little Utah is what it is. So I did not know that there was a huge migration of LDS pioneers that were sent to Arizona to settle Arizona after they got out to Utah. So there is a very large Mormon community in Arizona. And I was a little bit taken aback coming from Oregon as I was driving through some of the different little townships around here, especially in Chandler and Gilbert. There is a huge LDS community. And what have they given us? Well, they've given us Lori Vallow. They've given us her brother, Alex, Chad Daybell. What else have they given us? Oh, the Gilbert Goons beating up on teenagers, killing a young man after a Halloween party. I mean, this is what we've gotten from Chandler, Arizona. So anyway, no surprise, we now have Mark Lamb. So let me show you what popped up on my TikTok that really kind of like, what is going on? I need to stop watching so many movies and start watching the news, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired of what's going on in the news. And I can't watch it anymore. So this is what was brought to my attention.
Brand around traditional values. The former Arizona lawman is running for Congress on a campaign of faith, family, and freedom. But an investigation by the Arizona Republic and azcentral.com found sexting and explicit photo swapping via social media accounts and phone numbers connected to Lamb, and 2 women who say he tried to cover up the actions using threats and intimidation.
Lamb was in his first term as Pinal County Sheriff when a woman said he threatened to send state police after her to prevent her from posting about their relationship. The message from a user named Mark cited the state's revenge porn statute. Another woman said Lamb got in her face and told her there would be consequences if she kept talking about what she knew. I'm Robert Anglin, an investigative reporter with the Arizona Republic.
I'm Laura Grissoni, a politics reporter with the Arizona Republic. We've spent months digging into allegations that have swirled around Lamb since he first ran for office in 2016. With President Donald Trump's endorsement, Lamb is on track to win a congressional seat in the conservative East Valley. We found a trove of texts, explicit messages, and sexual images that women say Lamb sent them before and after he became sheriff.
The Republic used several methods to verify the materials. Messages include distinct characteristics that indicate they came from Lamb's cell phone and social media accounts. In one, a Facebook Messenger user named Mark sent a close-up picture of a penis with an offer to measure it. The user's avatar matches an image Lamb has used on his Facebook profile photo. A second woman said Lamb showed her a similar photo in person. Another picture, a selfie of a couple having intercourse, was texted from a phone number that matches Lamb's cell phone. The text came with a message telling the recipient to think about that being you. Lamb did not respond to a list of specific allegations sent to him by the Republic and to his campaign. In past interviews with other media, he has denied having affairs and has brushed off allegations of sending nude photos.
That's not what records show. Screenshots of sexually charged messages from a woman named Tammy Peacock show detailed discussions of meetups and intimacy. In one Facebook message, the user named Mark sent a smiling selfie of Lamb in a car and included the sheriff's former home address in Santan Valley. Peacock was an alcoholic and addicted to drugs. The user Mark wrote in a Facebook message that he loved her.
Peacock kept an extensive record of the messages, and later, when the relationship appeared to sour, she started posting them online. She also shared them directly with women before her death in a 2021 traffic accident. Peacock posted obsessively about Lamb for years. In 2019, she said he threatened her with a revenge porn investigation. Facebook messages show a user named Mark invoked state laws that come with time in prison.
The message said that the Department of Public Safety was, quote, handling this. If she stopped posting, the user said, he would ask investigators not to proceed. The former Pinal County attorney said Lamb wanted to have 2 women, including Peacock, charged with criminal harassment over their posts, though no charges were filed. In previous interviews and in his memoir, Lamb described Peacock as a stalker, someone who became obsessed with him during his campaign. He called her mentally disturbed, and he said he made sure he was never alone with her.
Allegations about Lamb's personal life have repeatedly threatened to upset his political image. One of his political opponents sent out mailers and flyers in 2020 saying he had engaged in sexual improprieties. The rival also submitted a complaint to the Pinal County Board of Supervisors saying Lamb targeted women. The material included screenshots showing Lamb used his official campaign Twitter account to exchange sexually charged messages or arrange meetups with women. A Colorado law enforcement officer told the Republic she had planned an intimate getaway with the sheriff after exchanging messages and cell phone calls. Rumors about Lamb's behavior came up again this year in a legal claim against Pinal County.
And a Santan Valley woman blames the former sheriff for ruining her marriage to one of Lamb's closest friends. She said Lamb encouraged her husband to have relationships with other women behind her back, including Lamb's wife. She said Lamb not only betrayed her, but also the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its core values of faith and family. She asked church officials to investigate. They did.
In part 2 of our investigation, we break down how the LDS Church responded to complaints about the Lambs and explore allegations that Lamb tried to intimidate the woman who reported him. You can read the...
So in part 2, they go on specifically with the second allegation. And in this one, they point out that these 2 men, one was the bishop, the first guy was the bishop, the second guy was the stake president. This person, who's also a Mormon, went thinking that she was going to men who have authority and that they were the guided people that she is supposed to report to. So she goes to the bishop, and then he didn't do anything. So she goes to the stake president and reports that it was her husband that this reporter from AZ Central was talking about. Right after they got married, he was Mark Lamb's really good friend. She married this really good friend of Mark Lamb's. Immediately after the wedding, Mark Lamb sent them nude pictures of his wife. And then it was kind of like encouraging some kind of a, tryst. And so she went on to approach her husband. Her husband admitted it. He apologized for it. She went to the bishop. She went to the stake president. Nothing was done. So then she went above them to the 70 area presidency. This is how the hierarchy works in the Mormon church. And supposedly, basically what they said was, we've taken care of it, little girl. Don't worry about it. And we're not going to talk about it. And everything that we did was confidential. But what she's seeing is that nothing's getting done. And so this is what was just absolutely frustrating for me, is it's not, as I've often say with a lot of my friends, it's not the history, it's not the doctrine, it's not the policies of the Mormon church that took me out. It's the cover up. It's the lies, the gaslighting, and the whitewashing and the diminishing of women's situations, their experiences, and the stories that they tell are brushed away to protect the men. And Mark Lamb is a perfect example of this. So then what's really kind of sad is that their oldest son, I believe he was their oldest of their 5 children, Cooper, killed someone in a car accident.
An exclusive update on a crash that nearly killed a father on his bike. The man behind the wheel, the son of Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb.
We first reported on this story back in early July, and since then, our Zach Crenshaw has been pushing for answers.
Zach is live right now outside MCSO headquarters. And Zach, you finally got what you were asking for.
This police report, yeah, finally. I made the request for it 4 months ago, shortly after that crash happened. And MCSO repeatedly told me that these documents weren't ready until tonight, when I told them we were going to run a story with what we learned and the lack of transparency regardless. It was only then that we got these 21 pages, and they helped paint a clearer picture about what happened when Cooper Lamb crashed into a bicyclist near Santan Valley.
The damage speaks for itself.
You can literally see my client's body print in the windshield and the hood of Cooper Lamb's vehicle.
Larry Fawcett's bicycle, a mangled mess. His body, the same.
His brain was injured, his spine was fractured, his leg was broken, the ligaments in his knee were torn, his arm was broken. His whole life has been changed because of this, and it happened in a split second.
While Larry was being airlifted to the ER, the driver, Cooper Lamb, was consulting with his dad, the Pinal County Sheriff.
I know nothing about the case other than showing up for 5 minutes and checking on my son.
Sheriff Lamb was gone when MCSO detectives arrived to keep Pinal deputies from investigating their boss's son. The 21-page initial report reveals Cooper failed a litany of tests and, quote, displayed poor balance and fine motor skills, his speech was slow and slightly slurred, and he had major problems with simple comprehension. So detectives arrested him for DUI, got a warrant, drew his blood, and concluded Cooper was impaired by a central nervous system depressant and cannabis and was unable to operate a motor vehicle safely. Then they cited and released him.
I don't think I've ever seen a case where there's an accident, someone's injured, particularly someone being seriously injured, and the person not be arrested if a DRE believes that the person's impaired.
Attorney Jared Keenan wonders if Cooper's connection to a top cop has been a factor.
You think? It's the same thing with what was going on in Chandler with the Gilbert Goons. Because they were associated with the Mormon church, there was a lot of police and people in authority in the city council and whatnot that were protecting these Mormon kids who were beating people up, and one boy got killed. So this is just, this is what happens in a theocracy. All of the people who you think you're voting for Christ or you're pushing for a Christian nationalist America, this is what happens when you have people in authority that think they are above the law. And this is what's happening in Pinal County in Arizona. Now, let me see if this is the right one, because ironically, this was about 5 years ago that his son hurt that man in a car accident. And then this happened.
Newsmaker Sunday with Fox 10's John Hook.
Thanks for joining us on Newsmaker Sunday.
Okay, that's not this one. That's another one. I'll show that one in a minute. Okay, so anyway, his son and wife and little daughter were all killed in a car accident in 2022. So a couple years after he injured this man, they themselves were killed in a car accident. And then what happened was huge funeral at an LDS church, huge remarks about the what happens after we die, and we'll all be together as a family. And if it wasn't for the gospel, I don't know where I'd be, and yada, yada, yada. And everybody had to give these huge tributes. And look, I'm the first one to say, please do not hold me responsible for my children's behavior after the age of 18, okay? Because I know that they are little people, all right? They turn 18. There's no magic that happens. There's no cape of knowledge and wonderfulness that happens. You do the best you can, and you cannot be held responsible all the time for your kids' behavior. But the consequences of their behavior because of your position of authority is something that we can talk about. And so the fact that he, his wife, and little girl were killed in a car accident is really, really sad. But to put this family on a pedestal and just, absolutely worship them because of their belief in a religion, and then to find out that he's sending nudes of his wife to another lady, that he's looking for a menage a trois, and but that's all, that's just all rumor, and that just all needs to go away. And so let me introduce you to his wife, who was evidently quite happy to be photographed nude and have her pictures sent to various people.
You only get one chance to do this life, and you don't know how much time you have. And when opportunities present themselves, it is our obligation as people trying to do their best to live their life on this earth to give the most that you can. Who am I? I am an American woman who's married to a powerful sheriff, and I'm the mother of 5, grandmother to 3, and just an American patriot trying to do my part to make this world a better place, honestly. So my husband is Sheriff Mark Lamb. We met in 1993, and we started dating immediately. We met at a church dance on the ASU campus, and he called me the very next day, and we started dated for 2 weeks. He moved to Panama for the holiday season and to work with his family, and came back in March. We dated for 2 more weeks and got engaged the first week of April. So we pretty much knew immediately that we were made for each other and that it was right. So we started out on pretty good terms, yeah. Well, the good thing is we were both looking for somebody that shared our faith. So that we started out looking for each other, and it immediately became apparent that.
Okay, I just want to push back. Every little Mormon girl at a church dance is looking for someone. Every Mormon boy at a church dance is looking for someone, because we have all been indoctrinated that once you graduate from high school, the boys, this was my generation, the boys would immediately go on a mission at 19, and then they would come home from their mission, and they were instructed and indoctrinated on their missions to marry immediately. So let's not put this into a Disney fairy tale. I just happened to be looking. He just happened to be looking. You're a Mormon girlfriend. You're at a Mormon dance. Everybody there was looking. Okay, so you're not special. Let's just go on.
We were going to be a great match. And so we've just basically built on that starting block, that starting foundation of building our foundation with God. We were married in our church, in our temple, and we plan to have a large family and, just go from there and just see what God gave us and take it from there. So we've been married 29 years. We started out with him wanting to always do business, always be in the business world, have his own thing, do his own thing. I came from that background as well. My dad was self-employed. He had his own business and his own construction business. And his dad was a, free business person as well. So we kind of came to that mindset, that entrepreneurial background that we came from separately, we joined together. And so I was always very supportive of him doing his own thing and, seeing what we could build, seeing what we could grow. We started having kids pretty much right away. So we ended up having our 5 kids within the 6.5 years of each other. So I was that mama with all the little ducklings,
I can't. I had to turn it off. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. She goes on to say that they were really struggling financially. He had started a business, a paintball business that failed. It sounds like his little entrepreneurship stuff was not going very well, and they were not doing well. And then he went on, according to her, he went on a ride along with a friend of his and came home and said, I want to be a policeman. This was so fun. And so he got into the police world, somehow became a sheriff. I don't remember all the details, and now he's gotten so popular because, as Donald Trump says, he's got the costume. He's from Central Casting. He's a good Mormon boy. He just looks like a cop. And so then we find out that he's also a little bit of a sex addict, and he's taking nude pictures of his wife and sending them to these girls and to his best friend and suggesting that maybe, do you want to know more? So, typical Donald Trump story, which is why Donald Trump is supporting him. So anyway, that's my introduction to Mark Lamb. I am so tired of this. So tired of this. I will vote for James Tallarico just because he's a good man. I mean, I look at what happened to Stephen Colbert, and I compare the people that Donald Trump is supporting and the people that are running for office and their background with Stephen Colbert and his dedication and love to his wife and his family and his religion. There is no comparison. I am so sick of this. I want you to know that these allegations don't come out of the air. We live in the internet world. Everything you text is recorded. Every cell phone you make is recorded. You can deny all you want to. Those days are over. Everything is backed up in a database somewhere. And so all the old days of being able to say, you're just, I was just being friendly and you took it too far and that's not what I meant. Well, the texts prove otherwise. And this man is running for Congress and he has Donald Trump's approval. And so I don't know what congregation they go to in Chandler, Arizona. I don't know who the bishop is. I don't know what men besides that bishop and that stake president that lady showed, if they're still continuing to cover it up. If once again, they're hiding these men because they don't want any marks put on the name of the church or the work that he's done, or the fact that they're married in the temple, that he holds positions of authority in his congregation. I don't know. All I know is it's another man in the Mormon church with authority and priesthood privileges that is being whitewashed for the world. And I'm just so sick of it. So that's my take on Mark Lamb. I hope this was informative. I really, really encourage you to go to Arizona Central. They are covering this. Now, this is a separate organization, has nothing to do with the Mormon church. They are just journalists and they are fact-finding. So it is an unbiased journalistic effort. And I really encourage you to go and look at that. And if one more man puts on a cowboy hat, I'm just going to scream. Seriously, you live in Chandler, Arizona. You're not on a ranch in Wyoming. I think you're good with a baseball cap. All right, whatever. Anyway, thanks for joining me today on Visually Unseen, a segment of She Became Visual. I will see you again in a couple of days with another She Became Visible episode. Bye.